Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
How about now, Ben? All righty. Good to go. Good morning. Welcome to the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top restaurant in America. Glad that you can be with us on this Tuesday. It is Tennessee Day, SEC Media Days. That's when you know it's time, Ben. That's when you know we are here.
Absolutely. The unofficial kickoff to football season. Your mic does sound a little low, okay. FYI. I'll let you play around with that for a moment. The unofficial kickoff to football season. Very busy week with SEC Media Days beginning yesterday. Been a very busy MLB draft for Tennessee baseball in multiple ways. Fall camp, 2 weeks from tomorrow. I believe 2 weeks from today is Tennessee's media day with its local media, and then on the 31st, I believe, is the first day of fall camp. So it's go time. But very happy to see your beautiful face this morning and hear your lovely voice. Been thinking of you, been missing you. I know a lot of people have been thinking and praying for you and your family. So I hope that you were able to feel the love and know that a lot of people are excited to see you back and ready to roll, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate everybody's prayers and positive vibes, and we certainly need them, and we'll continue to need them. Really difficult time with our family, but we'll get through, and we'll be stronger, and it's a good time, man. It's a good time right now with football season around the corner, everything starting up. It's nice distraction. So thank you for being with the program today. Hate that we had to miss, last week, but it was an emergency, and it was a difficult time. But we're here and glad to be here, and thank you for joining us this morning. Baseball been tearing it up with the draft and with commitments. We'll get to that a little bit later, but first, it's about SEC Media Days. It's about Cooper Mays. It's about Mark Thomas. It's about Keenan Pili representing Tennessee, representing that Power T today. I think there's a ton of Tennessee storylines. There's been SEC storylines, whether it's, all right, what's going to be the tiebreaker? Divisions are going away. What's going to be the tiebreaker to determine the two teams playing in the SEC championship? Texas, OU entering the league. Who's the best quarterback? Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss. Their success in the portal, will it translate into wins this football season? Nick Saban's no longer at Alabama. Kalen DeBoer taking over. He's done a great job so far in the recruiting trail. Can Georgia get back on track and get to the college football playoff? There's a ton of SEC conference-wide storylines. But there's a ton of Tennessee storylines, Ben. If I asked you the number one Tennessee storyline today for the Volunteers at SEC Media Days, what would be that?
Ooh. See, I don't think that there are a lot of Tennessee storylines. Maybe I will change my mind after hearing you discuss them.
You will.
I probably will. You are much smarter than I, and tend to sway me in your direction. And I forget, and you forget that you tell me what to say here on the show. So I am your Muppet here. For me, it's the Nico Iamaleava storyline. I think that both of us and the vast majority of Tennessee fans, I think Tennessee, the football program, believes that like Nico's going to be the real deal. Nico is him, and there's more questions. As weird as it is, because he's only played one game, started one game. To me, there's more questions around Nico than with Nico, but Nico still does need to go out there and prove that he is Nico Iamaleava, former 5-star quarterback, future NFL quarterback. Timothy, like he's got to go prove all that. And the month of September will be a big one for him, because I think NC State and Oklahoma, how he performs in those two games against two stout defenses, one on the road in a hostile environment in Norman, I think that will be very telling for how Nico's season goes. And I think it's going to be a successful one like everybody else, but there still is an element of him needing to go prove himself because he has not done anything yet other than the bowl game against Iowa. So to me, he is the biggest storyline just because he has the potential to truly be one of those generational quarterbacks at a school. I think that is his ceiling. So, and I don't know that he's generating as much buzz as he should be in that regard. So I think he is the biggest storyline just because he's such a elite talent. The keys to the offense is his, and it's go time for him.
No, it's always about the quarterback. So I'm not going to disagree with you at all there. Football leads with the quarterback position. It's easy to talk about. They are so important to the chances of a team winning. Usually when a team loses, it's because you didn't get the best quarterback play, or there's some turnovers, or the quarterback play could have been better. But before I give you my storylines, I do want to mention this, Ben. Cooper Mays, not surprised he is representing Tennessee at SEC Media Days. Amari Thomas did it last year, no surprise there. Keenan Peely, when I first saw this, I was like, whoa. And I think he will do a good job. Don't get me wrong, I think he will do an excellent job. But we're talking about someone that played one game at Tennessee. We're talking about someone that was a transfer coming in. And I mentioned all this to say, what an endorsement for him to be representing the entire football team. One of three guys representing the entire football team when he's only been here a couple of months, only played one game. Usually when you are looked upon as a leader, it's because you're out there doing it. It's because you're out there making plays. You lead by example. The fact that he's only played one game and the coaches sense how the players respond and respect him, look at him as a leader, choosing him to go represent Tennessee. I think that's a heck of a accomplishment for Keenan Peely. So, congratulations to him. I was a little surprised, but not surprised because in my couple of times talking to him, he exudes leadership. He's played a lot of college football. I'm not surprised in that regard, but like, dude, that's pretty cool. And then Amari Thomas, second time going to SEC Media Days, represent Tennessee. Not a lot of people that have played here and wore the orange can say they've done that. So pretty cool, man. Pretty cool there. Yeah, storylines. Definitely Nico. There's been so much talk about him over the last couple of years. Will he be overrated bust? That's not what I think. That's not the question I'm asking. I know what he's going to do. He's going to ball out. But whenever you have a 5-star quarterback, number one type of player in the country, that's what college football is asking. Will he pan out? Will he not? Same questions surrounding Arch Manning whenever he gets his opportunity. If you're Nico, how do you make sure you're not doing too much? How do you make sure you're not doing too little? It's about playing within yourself, doing what your coach should do. And I think he'll do that extremely well this season. He will have his ups and downs. He will have his special moments where you're like, wait, did he do that? How did he do that? What kind of throw was that? Look how he got away from the rush. Look at that run. And then he'll have moments where he looks like a first-year starter. When he has those, hopefully Tennessee is still winning and will win that game. I think another storyline, Ben, is sticking with offense. Has to be.
Wherever you go next, it's not going to be the offense. Whatever you're about to say is not the second biggest storyline. I can tell you that.
What's the second biggest?
SEC Media Days in Dallas, Texas and Oklahoma entering the league.
Well, for Tennessee.
Well,
for Tennessee.
I'm alluding to the second biggest storyline, if not a bigger storyline than Nico. And it's old for us, but it won't be for the media at SEC Media Days, is Josh Heupel going back to Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Heupel's so fed up with that storyline already. Patrick Brown was telling me, I did not go to the Big Orange Caravan a couple of months ago when it was in Kingsport, but Patrick Brown was telling me that he was asked about it then. He's been asked about it for years now, even like last year in media sessions during the season and before that. And he was asked about it again at the Big Orange Caravan in Kingsport, and he made the joke of, really? I didn't realize they were on the schedule. So that will be a storyline. Heupel won't bite on that, though. He's tired of it already, doesn't want to talk about it, but he's not going to give much on that. But that will be something that is played up, I imagine, today, whether it be at the desk. I bet he's asked about it at the podium. But that will be another big storyline right there with Nico. Although I think we Tennessee people who cover, follow, fans, we don't view it that way. But outside of our bubble, people who are observing Tennessee's football program from the outside will look at it as a big storyline.
Yeah, he don't want to talk about it, but it means a lot. Like, it's going to mean a lot, for sure. And will it be just like every other game as far as preparation? Yeah. But is it really like every other game? Of course not. Just like Heupel versus Eli Drinkwitz in year number 1 and year number 2 and year number 3 wasn't like every other game. You didn't have coaches running up the score. You didn't have coaches running up to the other coach after the game talking about standing on business. Like, there's going to be a little extra on that game, and that's okay. That's what makes college football college football. You have rivalry games that stand out more than other games. It's cool. But he's not going to want to talk about it because he's going to get tired of the same old question, and he's going to get tired of not really saying what he thinks. Like, he feels a certain type of way about what happened when he was offensive coordinator there. I think each day that goes by, he's more over it, but I don't think he's completely over it. What competitor would be over it? He's the ultimate competitor. So that's a good one, Ben, for sure. Tennessee versus Oklahoma, they'll be talking that. They'll beat that horse today, dude, like crazy. But who's gonna be the 3 receivers that step up? Because it's not just about one. It's not about one receiver who's going to be Jalen Hyatt. It's about 3 or 4 that need to be valuable options for Nico. That's what it's about, man. You look at the 2022 season. It wasn't just about Jalen Hyatt at the beginning. Hendon threw the ball to Tillman 15, 16 times in a pick game. And then when Tillman got hurt, against Akron, that's when we saw Jalen Hyatt take off. We also saw Brew McCoy make big plays in that Florida game. We saw Brew McCoy make big plays in the LSU game. So it's not about one guy. It's about 3 or 4 that really need to step forward and be the guys. You can't have it like we did last year where, your starter dropping touchdown passes, not being reliable. We can't have that. And then you're searching for some dudes you can trust. You can't have that at all. Running back, we've talked about it many times. A little surprised Dylan Sampson didn't go media days. Think about
I was very surprised. I don't think that Tennessee got it wrong by any stretch of the imagination. That they have several guys deserving to go, but I was surprised that Dylan Sampson did not go. I mean, would it be fair to say that Sampson is the voice of the football team, the leader of the team? And I say that with respect to Cooper Mays and Amari Thomas, because I think those guys, their voices carry a lot of weight as well. But I think D. Sampson within the program is kind of the face of it.
I would agree. I mean, I remember this time of the year, my last year, and I felt like I was one of the 3 that should have went to Birmingham. I felt like I should have went. And I felt like I was one of the most vocal leaders, and I was leading by example and all that good stuff, kind of like what Dylan Sampson's doing. It was a little bit of a snub. I wasn't like bothered or upset or anything, but I was like, dang, I ain't going? Okay, cool, whatever. Because the guys that did go, those are my guys. I feel like Dylan Sampson probably should have went. A little surprised he didn't. But it's all good because what Dylan Sampson is going to do during the course of the offseason, during the season as a leader, is really more important than what he says on the podium or on Radio Row today. But I'm with you. But the running backs losing key starters, key contributors, Dylan Sampson moving into the number 1 role. I think that's going to be a storyline today. The defensive line, dude, that is going to be talked about. Omar Norman Lott had an opportunity to go to the NFL, would have been drafted last year, decided to come back. We had Jim Nagy, director of the Senior Bowl, on Josh and Swain yesterday, and there's about 8 dudes that they're looking at to be a part of the Senior Bowl. And usually when you go to the Senior Bowl, you're going to get drafted. So think about this, Ben. Let's say that Tennessee has about 7 or 8 guys that have a chance to get drafted. That usually equates to a really good football season. Usually. You look at the 22 season, the guys that were drafted, look at the win-loss record. Pretty dang good. You look at last year's win-loss record. It matches up with the guys who were drafted. Matches up. And it usually does. I'm sitting at 9 wins for this season. I'm fully prepared to go higher rather than lower because of the NFL talent and the possibility that Tennessee will have 6, 7, 8 dudes drafted.
Yes. Do you think it is fair for me to say that if Tennessee's defensive line, I mean, how many times have we brought up or mentioned in passing that a lot of people think that it is going to be the best defensive line in the country? If that is the case, or let's not even say that it's absolutely going to be the best in the country. If it's one of the best, if it is in the conversation when people are discussing the best defensive lines in the country, if it's top 3, if it's top 5, you think it's safe to say that Tennessee wins double-digit games and is in the playoffs?
I'm willing to say that.
I am too.
Yeah.
Now, I realize that you still need things to click offensively, and there is a world to where the depth concerns at offensive line and running back sneak up and plague the offense. You've talked about it a million times, like the receivers need to take a step forward and bounce back and really emerge and help Nico out. So there are some questions offensively, but I mean, you have to think that Josh Heupel's offense is going to get it figured out in some capacity in terms of being able to produce, especially with such a talented quarterback and Nico leaving the way. And something that I don't think's been mentioned enough, and I know that it's not a fun thing to mention, but like I was talking about earlier with Nico Swain, this is his first time as a starter. Mm-hmm. He's not gonna just play lights out football from start to finish. He's gonna take his lumps. It may not be a lot of lumps, but there will be moments here and there to where you can tell he's still growing, to where he is adapting to college football and so on and so forth. So I say that about the defensive line with recognition and awareness that, like, the offense has some questions that it needs to answer as well. But I think if that defensive line lives up to the hype, then Tennessee is firmly in position to win double-digit games and make the playoffs.
Yeah, that 22 season, man, as potent as the offense was, it was not good versus Pittsburgh. And you had an experienced quarterback. So I expect some lumps here and there. You just don't need to be at the wrong time versus the wrong team. Still need to have those lumps and be able to win. Still need to have that correctable film where you still win, but you can make those adjustments and improve. That's what happened in 22 season. Like, you still beat Pittsburgh, but you still was able to fix those issues. And then when you played LSU, when you played Alabama, when you played some of the tougher teams, those issues that you had against Pittsburgh were not issues against those teams, and you're able to win. That's what you have to do. All right, 865-255-03 is our number. The Beatty Chevrolet text box. We'll get to that when we come back from a brief timeout. It's Ben McKee rocking his World Series Omaha gear. Is that a mug too?
Yeah, and now it is from last year, but it is a coincidence, a World Series mug. First one that I saw this morning when I was fixing my coffee.
Dude, that's a big.
And this was the first T-shirt that I saw this morning when I was changing, and it did happen to be an Omaha shirt, but I saw it. I was like, yeah, I'm rocking the Omaha shirt today. It was the first one I saw, but there was some pride putting it on.
It just hits different, man. It hits different. Tony Vitello. It's like the Nick Saban of college football now, or college baseball. Kirby Smart. That championship will make it a whole lot easier to go out and recruit. A whole lot easier. Getting on TV, MLB draft coverage. Woo! The rich will get richer. Got to win more than one championship to be like Nick Saban. Kirby Smart, I get that. But in terms of winning a championship and making it easier to continue, that's what Tony Vitello is doing. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. We'll take a quick time out. Stay with us. When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Hey, Vol Nation. This is Charlie Pratt, financial representative with Modern Woodman and MWA Financial Services. Modern Woodman has been touching lives and securing futures for 140 years. Being born and raised here in East Tennessee, I'm honored to help East Tennesseans in all phases of life with retirement planning, investments, and life insurance. A big win on Saturday starts with preparation early in the week. A secure financial future starts with planning today. Contact my office today at 865-919-6468 to review your financial plan and make sure you are on track for success. As always, go Vols.
Registered representative and investment advisor, representative offering securities and advisory services through NWA Financial Services, Inc., a wholly owned subsidiary of Modern Woodmen of America, member of FINCRA, SIPC.
Good morning, Swain Event fam. America's College Sports Town has everything you could want in a lifestyle. You want a cottage home in town or a downtown condo, or maybe you're looking for a home with a pool or a lake property. Well, whatever you want, the Knoxville area has it, and I'm ready to assist when it's time to find what you're looking for. So give me a call, Jennifer Morris, 865-694-5904, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com, and check out my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. Go Vols!
80 saves you money, like a new 24 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab. Save with 5.9% APR financing or pre-owned vehicles starting at $19,995. All makes and models at Beatty Chevrolet.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with a text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. I'm Jason Swain, live from the Low T Central Studio. Let's get to the Beatty Chevrolet text box this morning. Really easy to send in your comments and your questions. Let's see what we got here, Ben. Riley Vol said, "What's up?" We saying, "What's up?" too. Nila Mafia says, what is the purpose of this week? It's the kind of the unofficial kickoff of the season. It's good for us guys, Nila Mafia, us media guys, to have content to write about and talk about. So we love SEC Media Days. We love Media Days. It gives the fans the opportunity to hear from different players, be asked certain questions that certain media members will not get a chance to ask in different settings. I like the fact that you'll have a media member from a different market asking a coach from a different market a question. And sometimes those tough questions will never be asked locally, but in a setting like SEC Media Days, they will be asked. I kind of like that part, Ben.
I do as well. Now, I do remember ranting and raving about how Media Days is a waste of time. At least the podium. Last year, I went off on like how the podium, when Heupel gets up there today and speaks for 30 minutes, complete waste of time. It is. He's not going to say anything of note in his opening statement. His filibuster, however long that ends up being, and I'm speaking from the local media perspective. Obviously, somebody who follows year round is up to date every single day, regardless of what time of year it is, and regardless of whether I'm covering basketball and baseball. Like, I am well aware of everything going on with Josh Heupel and his football program at all times. So there's nothing that is said at the podium that is going to be informative. The more informative part is when Josh Heupel speaks off to the side with the local media, and the local media ask more pointed questions pertaining to fall camp and are more insightful, in my opinion. And Patrick Brown is in Dallas for us at Go Vols 24/7. And he'll be there for that, and we'll have coverage of his standalone interview or off to the side interview with the local media up at the site at some point this morning. But that to me is more informative, because like I hear you, like when you have the Dennis Dodds asking the questions, the tough questions at the podium, those are beneficial. But when there's no tough questions to ask, then it's just a bunch of random media members who don't have as in-depth of a knowledge of the program asking very vanilla questions. So yeah. It is what it is. It's meant to publicize the program. Honestly, the thing that I'm most looking forward to today, and I may be alone in this. I am fascinated to hear Nick Saban talk about Tennessee today. I'm fascinated to see that happen. It was a shock to my system seeing him on the network yesterday breaking down the different teams, and I know I'll be in the minority on this as well. I enjoy listening to Saban's commentary. I think he's kind of looser now, loosey goosey now, and I think he has a funny side to him at times. I think he has some one-liners that are pretty good, and I think he does a pretty good job at breaking down the teams. And yesterday, he was not afraid to say that he does not think Alabama is going to be in the SEC championship game because he has concerns about their defensive back. So if he's going to keep it real in that way when breaking down the team, sign me up for it, because I know I'm in the minority here, but I do think that he has good insight into the different programs in the SEC.
What do we want in an analyst? We want someone that knows what the hell they're talking about, right? With credibility. Mm-hmm. Well, Nick Saban has more credibility than anybody with a microphone talking college football. We want fairness. We want you to call a spade a spade. Well, he's proven that he's already doing that. That's all I really care about. I don't care that he coached Alabama. Whatever. As long as he does the job well, which he's already doing, that's all I care about. And I enjoyed listening to Nick Saban. Even when he was at Alabama as a head coach, I enjoyed listening to Nick Saban because dude's a winner. Dude's a champion. I just hated when we played him and had to listen to him. But, like, when folks are, like, winners, I listen to them. Like, I listen to guys like LeBron James and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Bill Belichick, Steve Kerr, Nick Saban. Because I try to use things that they've used in their profession. I try to use it in my everyday life. So I've enjoyed Nick Saban so far. He hasn't been biased. He's called a spade, and then when he said Texas ain't gonna run the SEC, because I don't know why Texas feel like they're gonna come up in here and just run things. Like that ain't gonna happen, y'all. I know y'all good, and you've come into the league really good. You know, Missouri did the same thing. They came into the league and had a lot of success. It's not that you won't win this year. It's every day. It's every day. The grind. It eats you up. It spits you out. It's every day. It's every game that you're playing. It's physical. There's no deep breaths. There's no, well, we playing Kansas State this week. We all right. Oh, we played Texas Tech this week. No, man. You going to turn around and play Georgia one week, Ole Miss the next week, Arkansas next week, Auburn, LSU. Like, it's back to back to back. And you may get a year where you play two teams that are not that great back to back. But it's every day. It's the grind that's different with any other conference. But I do like how positive and confident Texas fans are. They'll learn. Just like
they are
Missouri
in
A&M.
Just like A&M. They are in for a rude awakening. And it feels like it took nearly a decade for A&M to adjust in terms of the physicality, because I think that's the learning curve to me, is just adjusting to the physicality and the play in the trenches. That to me is what separates the SEC from pretty much everybody else, although I do recognize that the Big Ten, they have some pretty stout offensive lines in that league as well, and several great defensive lines each year. But adjusting to the physicality, I mean, how long did it take A&M to adjust to the physicality? Just within the last couple of years, really, until they got the Jimbo. And they loaded up on the defensive line the past couple of seasons, and the offensive line has been pretty stout. Missouri was adjusted better to the SEC than A&M was to begin with. Those Gary Pinkel teams, when they first got to the league, the reason they were able to have success when they first got into it is because they had so many elite defensive linemen and were pretty solid on the offensive line. So Texas better make sure that they are covered up front offensively and have some guys defensively. And they have, just watching very vaguely the last couple of years, it seems like there's been several defensive linemen, edge rushers from Texas drafted pretty early in the draft. So I'm sure they'll have some defensive playmakers, but very curious to see if they have the play along the offensive line. It feels like Oklahoma's kind of being quiet. I mean, maybe the fans are acting reckless, but fans are fans. Like, fans are going to talk. But, like, I haven't really heard much from Brent Venables or the Oklahoma football team. Maybe I missed it, but it seems like they are taking a much smarter approach to entering the SEC than Texas's coaches and players are.
Yeah. You're not hearing Oklahoma's quarterback talking about being people's Super Bowl and all that stuff. No. Not at all. 865-255-03. Neil Mafia says, let's be clear, there is far more actual news to be heard on local podcasts, etc., than the Dog and Pony Show of a vanilla media day. No, 100%. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and that was the short version. Neil Mafia, I can't stop talking, and I talk too much, but that was your response right there is the short version of what I was trying to get across.
Yeah. Chip Payne says, besides the bottom feeders of the SEC, what team or teams would Healy start at linebacker? Well, Chip Payne, this is what we have to do. We have to first identify the bottom feeders of the SEC, and then we have to properly place ourselves in the pecking order of the SEC. So the bottom feeders would include first Vanderbilt. It would be Mississippi State. It would be Arkansas, right? South Carolina's not going to be great this year, so you can put South Carolina there. Florida, if they win 5-6 games, that'll be a really good year with their schedule. It's weird to say Florida bottom feeder, but
the first four that you mentioned are the ones that I'm definitely. willing to list as a bottom. There are analysts out there that think Florida is going to be better than the national perception. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. And I mean, even if they're better than what people think they are going to be, I mean, people don't think that they're going to get to a bowl game. So if you think that they're going to be a 7-8 win Florida team, like, that's not good enough for Florida football.
We'll leave Florida off. We can leave Florida off.
Say that again?
I said we can leave Florida off.
Yeah wait and see mode. They could end up being a bottom feeder this year, but I did want to express that there are some people out there who think Florida's going to be better than what people are saying. But again, people are saying they're going to win 4 and 5 games. So do you just think they're going to win 7 or 8 games? Because that's not like that's a good football team in the SEC either.
Let's just say, those teams.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Arkansas, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Vanderbilt.
I mean, and you want to throw Auburn in there?
No, Auburn's in that same tier as Florida to me. Auburn's a tier above.
Okay.
Look, I'm a big believer in Hugh Freeze. They're going to get talent there. He's going to coach them up, and I don't know that they'll win a championship or anything along those lines, but they'll be competitive and win games. And I think they'll be better this year than they were last year. I don't think that they'll be in the same boat as the Arkansas and Carolinas and Vandys of the world.
Okay. So we got those 4 teams. I don't know. I got to write this down.
There's 16 teams now. We got to have paper and pencil to jot down these notes from now on.
I got to write this down. Arkansas, Vandy, Mississippi State, and USC Junior. Got to put the junior on the end. The bottom. At the top, let's go back to the top. We'll say Georgia, Texas. I'm gonna put Ole Miss up there. right now.
I think that's fair. I think you're missing one more.
Bama.
Yep. Now,
I put those
what
four
about?
teams.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask about LSU.
No, I think LSU's in the same category as us.
Yeah, that tier 2 with Oklahoma, A&M, Tennessee.
Yep. So tier 1, we got Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and Bama. Tier 2 would be LSU, Tennessee,
A&M.
Okay. Oh, you say OU, right?
Yes.
OU.
I think I'd put Missouri in tier 2.
No, yeah, Missouri definitely in tier 2. Missouri is at the top of tier 2.
Yeah.
And then tier 3 will be everybody else.
Yeah. Auburn, Florida.
Yeah. Auburn.
I don't think we missed anybody. Kentucky, tier 2, tier 3, probably tier 3. Top of tier 3.
Yeah. Top of tier 3. Which is crazy because Stoops has done a really good job. But
it just feels like they had a lot of turnover this year.
All right. So, with Keenan Peely, I gotta really break down this question to give you the best answer, Chip Payne. Besides the bottom feeders of the SEC, would Peely start at linebacker? What teams he would start at? Dude, I can see him. I don't know the personnel everywhere, but like probably be tough at LSU. I don't know what the roster is, at Ole Miss or Texas when it comes to linebacker room. But I think Peely would play in a lot of places, to be honest. I mean, you have someone that's experienced, that's played a lot of football. And it's really hard to, let's get one thing understood here. We saw him play a couple plays in the first game. Like, we didn't even see him play a whole game. All we're going off of is what the coaches are saying. Barely saw him in fall camp. Barely saw him during the season. But I think Keenan Peely would play for all tier 2 teams.
Yep.
Definitely tier 3 teams.
Yep. He would be in the rotation. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know the depth chart and every linebacker situation in the SEC. But I do know that Keenan Peely was going to be a really good football player for Tennessee last year. He had a really good fall camp. He was playing pretty well in the Virginia game. After he got hurt, after he suffered his season-ending injury, he was still playing pretty well. He was going to be a key piece to Tennessee's defense last year, and he has all conference ability. He does. He could absolutely play himself into an all SEC play or an all SEC honor by the end of the season. So how many teams would he start at? I don't know, but I would be stunned if he was not in the rotation at those tier 2, tier 3 schools that we mentioned. He's experienced. He's a great leader, and he's talented. Tennessee, I remember they were very surprised by how quick he was because he's more built like that traditional linebacker, 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of linebacker, but he can move better than I think that they even initially anticipated when they picked up his commitment out of the portal from BYU. So he was going to be a really good player for Tennessee last year, and if he can stay healthy, I think he'll prove that this year.
Yeah, we need to understand that we are not in tier 1. So we can't be looking at a player going, hey, man, is he good enough? Well, we ain't good enough right now. We tier 2 right now. All right, let's get to the phones, 865-255-03. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning. How you doing, brother?
Are we good? How are you?
Sorry about that.
I'm
doing okay. By the way, been praying for you, buddy.
Thank you.
And we're with you. And with you in spirit this weekend. We know you're going through a hard time, and just let you know that we love you, and whatever I can do, just give me a call.
Thank you, man.
Okay?
I appreciate that.
All right. It's been hard weeks for you, brother, and we just know it.
It sucked.
But anyhow, yeah, I know it's life.
Yep.
I mean, we live. That's part of life.
That's
and
right.
We go through life. Being good to talk to you, good to hear from you. Enjoy you, as always. And sure enjoyed the baseball season and all. But I was going to comment on what you're talking about real fast. You talked about Missouri coming into the SEC. Well, they come in and had success, yes, because they had good defense and all, but they was recipient of everybody was really bad in the East, really bad.
Correct.
And so they caught it at the right moment and the right time. And with scheduling, and that's what comes to my mind when you're placing the bottom feeders. With scheduling, you have to look at their schedule and who they're going to play. And I do know that Florida's schedule is probably one of the toughest in the country. So that would affect where they fall. And also, when you look at the easiest, where they would fall. So that's really, it's not fair in a way to the team that's really a better team that has a tougher schedule. So looking at that, I wonder how Florida would do against, say, Missouri's schedule, or how maybe a Tennessee would do against, let's say, Missouri's schedule, or somebody like that, because the schedule means everything. Being home means a lot, as we see. Playing the home versus playing away, all that plays a place in figuring out who's going to be at top and who's going to be at bottom, which a lot of times is not the clear picture. Anyhow, I'll get out of here, guys. Talk to you later. God bless you. And praying for you, Swain. God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the scheduling always has an impact on the success of a team. I think we are also considering like the state of the program, the talent, the depth. I don't know who's going to dispute Arkansas, Vandy, Mississippi State, and South Carolina's status as kind of the bottom football programs this year. I mean, Spencer Rattler is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. You can like him or dislike him or whatever. His comment about we treating South Carolina like it was our Super Bowl was hilarious and idiotic, but he's a baller. I've always enjoyed watching him play, watching him throw the football. Very, very talented, one of the best in the country last year. And Carolina still was sorry. They don't have many more. How much better are they going to be? I just don't see it. So you got Arkansas, you got Vanderbilt. Nothing needs to be said there with Vanderbilt. And you got Mississippi State with Jeff Lebby, first year head coach. And Jeff Lebby won't be bad long.
No, I actually think that Mississippi State will have a similar season to Josh Heupel's year one at Tennessee.
How so?
Similar.
How so? How are we talking win-loss? Are we talking just better than the expectations, or having offense that's fun to watch?
Yes, and yes. Okay. Yes to all of those questions. And again, I said similar. Because remember, Tennessee was picked to win 4 or 5 games year one under Heupel, and they won 7.
Yeah.
So I think that I think State will get to 6 wins, or at least be right there at 6 wins, down to the wire, fighting to get into a bowl game. I just think he's going to invigorate a lot of life into that program in the sense of what his offense is capable of doing. The way Heupel's offense injected life into the fan base and into the program, I think Lebby is going to do the same thing offensively. And I think that maybe he's going to win a game or two that he's not supposed to, just because that offense, like Heupel's offense, is capable of sneaking up on somebody. Now, I don't think they're going to go beat Alabama or anything like that. I just think it's going to be – and like Heupel had better players to work with than what Lebby will have to work with this season. So that's why I say it'll be similar. A poor man's version of Heupel's year one. I think his offense is going to be fun to watch. I think he'll surpass expectations and flirt with a bowl game, which I think would be a big win for him in Starkville. Although, if you're a Mississippi State fan, they're not thinking like this, but hard for me not to think like, I don't know that I want Jeff Levy to pop off right to begin with, because he's somebody that I could see kind of moving out of there quickly and landing one of these big time coaching jobs if it clicks for him at State, like a lot of people think that it does. Well, like I could see him being there just a year or two.
The thing about Mississippi State, Ben, is they've been used to offense with Mike Leach. They had that 1 year where they didn't have Mike Leach because of his passing, and then they decided, no, we can't not have offense. Well, Tennessee, we had sucky offense for years. Under Pruitt, we had multiple years of bad offense.
There were some. Look, Mike Leach is one of the greatest offensive minds ever, but there were games where Mississippi State fans were rightfully frustrated offensively because of the refusal to run the football, and maybe that being the difference in them winning and losing. Some of the red flags that you talked about quite a bit on the show when Tennessee was going through coaching searches with Mike Leach and Will Rogers throwing like 5-6 interceptions in a game. So Mike Leach was awesome offensively at Mississippi State, but there were times where they were also very, very frustrated, and some people wanted Mike Leach out because of some of the inconsistencies offensively.
Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Stay with us. Be right back.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
And you know this, man.
Here in Knoxville, we love it when a squirrel's in the checkerboards. But when there's a squirrel in our attic, that's all sides. When that happens, call Alpha Wildlife. They're Knoxville's veteran-owned and operated wildlife removal company. When unwanted critters put their feet up on your coffee table, call 865-224-6555. Let the Tennessee fans at Alpha Wildlife evict those unwanted tenants and set your home up with a winning defense to keep that wildlife where it belongs. That's Alpha Wildlife at 865-224-6555. They have locations in Nashville, Memphis, Chattanooga, and in parts of South Carolina. Check them out online at alphawildlife.com.
Fellas, there's a lot of people talking about testosterone, but do your homework and go to a provider that you can trust. I recommend Low T Center. It's where I get my levels checked. At Low T Center, they make it quick and easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and you'll get your results back in about 25 minutes. If you've been feeling tired, grumpy, have noticed weight gain, loss of muscle mass, you may have low T levels. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
80 saves you money, like a new 24 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab. Save with 5.9% APR financing or pre-owned vehicles starting at $19,995. All makes and models at Beatty Chevrolet.
What's up, Swain Event crew? Always happy to be with my friends in the morning. So, everybody has a next chapter in life, right? And sometimes that includes a move. Your next page may have a growing family, or maybe an empty nest, or possibly a move back home. When the time comes, I'll be here to help. Just give me a call. Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-694-5904, and check out my website, nextmovesmokymountains.com. As always, go Vols!
Looking for a different way to enjoy the show?
Yes!
Then check out Swain Event TV on YouTube.
Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. I'm Jason Swain, live from the Low T Center studio. Right now, at Low T Center, some cool things going on. Low T Center is offering a free initial test until July the 31st. Terms and conditions apply. So guys, if you're feeling like energy levels a little bit off, lacking mental focus, motivation, this is the month. This is the time to get that initial test done, and it's free there at Low T Center. This offer will last until the end of the month, July the 31st. Ben, what's going on with Tennessee baseball, man? You got guys leaving. You got players entering the portal coming to Tennessee, and then you had players that had to make a decision on whether they want to go to the MLB draft or if they want to come to Tennessee. Kind of give us the latest on who's going, who's coming, who's staying, all the good stuff.
Well, a lot of them are reaching out to Jennifer Morris because they all need new homes. Some are moving away from Knoxville. Unfortunately, they are still utilizing Jennifer Morris because she is the GOAT. And then all of the incoming high school signees, the transfer additions, the JUCO additions, they're all talking with Jennifer Morris. That may be a little over the top there. I may be embellishing a little bit. But the point is that you need to reach out to Jennifer Morris for all of your real estate needs because she is the best in the Knoxville area, and she will take great care of your family and take the stress of the home buying process away from you, which was a big blessing for myself and my wife through our process twice with Jennifer. So if you're looking to move to Knoxville or looking to move within Knoxville, whatever you want to accomplish in real estate, please reach out to Jennifer Morris of Keller Williams Realty. There's a lot of moving pieces, Swaino. I will try to be swift. In the draft, you've seen 8 players selected, which is the most for Tennessee through 2 days of any draft ever. 8 is tied for the second most in program history. So you've seen Christian Moore go to the Angels, Blake Burke go to the Brewers, Billy Amick go to the Twins. You saw Dylan Dreiling go to the Rangers. Burke and Moore go in the first round. Amick and Dreiling go in the second round. And then yesterday you also had several players drafted. Drew Beam went in the third round to the Kansas City Royals. Kavares Tears went in the fourth round to the Padres. AJ Causey was also selected by the Royals and will be with Drew Beam there in Kansas City. He was drafted in the fifth round. Aaron Combs was drafted by your Chicago White Sox in the eighth round. So 8 Vols have been drafted. And, again, that is tied for the second most in program history with the 92 draft and last year's draft. Tennessee, 10 players drafted in 22, 8 players drafted last year and 8 players drafted this year. So they've got this draft thing down pat. Tony Vitello and Josh Elander do, which is why several players want to come play for them. On the high school front, all the current players have pretty much been drafted. Xander Seacrest, I would expect for him to be drafted today at some point. Day 3, the final day is today, rounds 11 through 20. I expect Xander Seacrest to be drafted at some point to give Tennessee 9 selections. I would be surprised if anybody else sneaks in. Cal Stark might be a possibility to sneak in at the very back end of the draft, but I think he's more of an undrafted free agent type. So Tennessee, with its current players, are pretty much done unless something unexpected pops up. Now all eyes are on the additions, both high school signees and JUCO additions, and even a transfer addition. On the high school front, you did lose Ty Salcini, who was one of their best signees in the class. He went into the 4th round to the Cubs, number 120 overall in the draft. He was ranked as the number 38 overall player in the country, UT's 3rd highest ranked signee. He will not make it to campus unless an absolute shocker happens, but he's not making it to campus. I shouldn't even say that. Fellow infield signee Trey Snyder, he was drafted by the Mets in the 5th round of the number 69, nice overall player in the country. He will not make it to campus either. Those were the only 2 guys drafted yesterday, which is a big win because there are several other high school signees that could have been drafted. And the one thing to remember about the draft is it's not about where you are selected. It's about whether teams are willing to give you the money you head into the draft wanting to receive. And Tennessee was able to avoid multiple signees being drafted and teams choosing to meet their asking prices and pay them, most notably Tegan Coons. And I did speak with him last night, and he said he is going to come to campus. He is going to forgo the rest of the draft and come to campus. And that is a huge development for Tennessee. He's one of the best pitching prospects in the country. the number 45 overall player in the country. He has the chance to have a Chase Burns, Drew Beam type of impact as a true freshman, like those two guys did. The other one is Anson Siebert. He hasn't completely shut down the draft yet, but I would be surprised if he did not make it to campus at this point, because on day 3, it's going to take teams for the high school signees left that have not declared that they are forgoing the rest of the draft and they will come to campus and not sign. If they stick to their numbers that they preset before the draft when they were viewed kind of in that first 10 rounds range, it would take a team really paying over slot to sign them on day 3, and that rarely happens. So Anson Siebert is just like Tegan Coons, the pitcher I just talked about, and Tennessee's top signee in the entire class, top 30, top 40 overall player in the country, big-time pitcher at 6'8". Again, can have a Chase Burns, Drew Beam type impact as a freshman. Manny Marine is an infielder who is one of the best prospects in Tennessee's class as well. He was not drafted, and it looks like he is likely going to end up on campus. He was a Team USA starting shortstop, immediate impact type of guy. Levi Clark, one of the best catchers in the country, Team USA catcher, All-American high school player, ranked in the top 50 overall in the country. Looks like he's going to make it to campus. Jay Abernathy, top 100 overall player, one of the fastest players in the class, left-handed hitter with an explosive game. He is trending towards making it to campus. Jay Abernathy, the cousin of former Tennessee defensive back Micah Abernathy, as well. So Tennessee doing really well on the high school front. It's not over until the draft is completely over, but I do think there's some confidence there, and things are trending in the right direction. And again, it would take teams really overpaying to land these guys and sign these guys, which you don't really see on day 3 of the draft. But again, it's not over till it's over. And lastly, the other two to keep an eye out for is Brandon Arvidsson, a JUCO lefty who committed to Tennessee over the weekend. Lefty that's been up to 97, a really good prospect. He is still kind of playing things out. I think that he will end up on campus. He has a high asking price, and he hasn't really budged from that. So that is one that technically isn't over, but again, I'd be surprised if he did not make it to campus. And then lastly, one of the bigger storylines today is Eric Radacek, who is the Niagara first base transfer who committed a couple of weeks ago. We'll see if he gets drafted today. If he gets drafted, I think he will sign, but there's a lot of talk that he will not get drafted because of his age. And this is a guy that basically hit 400 last year with 20 homers and would be a big bat. Oh, by the way, Blake Burke, first-round pick. You need somebody to play first base next season. So the Niagara transfer is one that we're watching on day 3 as well, and would be a nice win for Tennessee. If it would stink for him. You don't want to see somebody go undrafted and not be able to pursue a professional opportunity. But for Tennessee, that would be a big bat to get on campus. So a lot of moving parts, if you can't tell, Swain.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about Tello, you want players to reach their dream, but you also want to have good players to compete for another national championship.
Tennessee's positioned well. They are going to have a lot of talent on the roster next year. It does not look like, as of this morning, going into day 3, it does not look like their high school class is going to be hit as hard as it looked like it was a month ago. The vast majority of their number 1 overall recruiting class in the country looks like it is going to make it to campus. They have several talented JUCO players coming in. The transfer class is as good as anybody in the country since we last spoke. The Ole Miss duo of Andrew Fisher and Liam Doyle committed. I believe Eric Radacek, the Niagara transfer that I just talked about, he committed. And you have a nice core of returning players as well. So they will have the talent to compete to get back to Omaha and certainly compete for another national championship next season.
Yeah, love that. Love that. I like these number changes too. That means we're getting closer.
That's the other unofficial kickoff the football season. It's SEC media days and it's jersey number changes.
Yeah, man.
When that updated official roster with with the new heights, the new weights, the new jersey numbers, even somebody playing a new position as well. Emmanuel Okoye, Tennessee finally announcing and being okay with it being out there that he has flipped from tight end to edge rusher. We're working on the defensive side of the ball now.
Yep. Also, Jeremiah's hurt, switching over. Going to be an offensive tackle. But
which that one was pretty expected.
So what? Yeah. That was expected. But still had to mention it. Squirrel White going from 10, and we'll be rocking number 3. Why are you shaking your head for?
I hate this part of it. I hate when you've been a number for at least 2 years. If you're changing after your freshman year, okay, that's one thing. But if you're changing after like 2 or more years in the program, I can't stand it because everybody becomes accustomed to seeing you rocking the number 10, and now you're rocking a completely different jersey number.
So you're making it about
it's weird. I don't like it.
Making it about you. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, it's just my eyes will have to readjust. I'm used to seeing Squirrel White in a number 10 jersey.
You're making it about you. Eyes.
I'm sorry. I thought you were saying I was suggesting that the players were making it about themselves.
No, Ben McKee is making it about Ben McKee.
I think a lot of people feel this way. I mean, it don't matter at the end of the day, but I think a lot of people don't like to see players change. I mean, think of all the Squirrel White number 10 jerseys that are out there, or the number 10 Squirrel White jerseys that are out there. I mean, Squirrel White's a guy that's been a contributor. Nobody wants to see him in a new jersey number at this point.
That's a good point. I mean, for those jerseys that are out there, I mean, they have to be put on the shelves or put on the back in some boxes and shipped off to, I guess, a different country. But Brew McCoy going from 15 to 5. Squirrel White going from 10 to 3. Mike Matthews, when he got number 89 during the spring, I was like, we normally don't see ballers like Mike Matthews rock 80s. But when I look at Steve Smith's time in the NFL, who wore number 89, there's a lot of similarities. But he is going to wear number 10. And I was checking while you was talking what number Mike Matthews wore in high school. He wore number 4 in high school, but he will wear number 10 as a freshman. I was out and about, me and my wife, and I think it was Sunday, and I ran into a listener. Shout out to Daniel, and he was asking me about which receiver I think would step up, and I was like, dude, my eyes are on Mike Matthews. That's who my eyes are on. I saw what I saw. He's special. I don't care how old he is, if he's a true freshman or not. That dude's a stud. So my eyes are on him. Redshirt freshman tight end Ethan Davis looks like he is going to wear 0. Andre Turntime is going to wear number 2. Ricky Gibson is going to wear that number 1 jersey, who has the attitude and the swag to wear it and the confidence. Jackson Moy is going to be 51, and Slaughter is going to be wearing number 12. Chaz Nimrod, hey, rocking the number 11.
That's a sneaky good receiver number, and I realize it even means more at Tennessee in that regard. Joey Kent, obviously.
Justin Hunter,
I was going to say as well.
Hyatt.
Jalen Hyatt, yes, absolutely.
And there's a lot of really good number 11s.
Yeah, at the receiver position for sure.
Yeah.
11's just a good number overall.
Yeah, it really is. Caleb Perry is going to wear number 8. 40 is
That's a good linebacker number.
It's a good linebacker number. Jordan Thomas is going to wear number 4. Wore number 25. So
what'd you say Brew is wearing?
5.
I'm with Vol fan here on the text box. I wish Brew would have kept 15. When I think of 15, I think of toughness. I think of Jawan Jennings, and anyone wearing 15 should be as tough as Jawan. Brew is that tough.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Vol fan.
Yeah. I mean, you see Brew McCoy on billboards. He's rocking 15. So now you got to change the billboards, I guess.
That's my point. That is my point. I understand freshmen changing their jersey number after 1 year because they're mostly thrown a jersey number. Well, they are in other sports. Lord knows people go out of their way to cater for the diva football players because of how sensitive they are just 24/7. But if you've established yourself within a jersey number, it should be college football law, sports law. And when I become the president and CEO of the sports world one day, I am going to write it in law that if you have established yourself in a jersey number, you are not allowed to switch.
Huh.
I mean, how weird would it have been to see you play in the number 11 jersey after wearing number 1 the first 2 years? It would have been very weird.
I wouldn't have switched because number 1 is the best jersey number.
I know,
but I get what
still.
you're saying.
See, it like Meacham wearing number 3 his first 2 years, and then wearing 5 the third year. Oh no, I can't stand it.
But those guys didn't get what they wanted coming in. So like, I got the number I wanted. Meacham got the number he wanted because he wore number 3 in high school. I wanted 1, even though I didn't wear 1 in high school. But that's the number I wanted. I wasn't gonna switch. Now, I don't know if Brett wanted number 9 or wanted to switch. I don't think Brett cared enough, honestly, once he got here to make that switch. But, you know, there's other guys who made the switch because their number wasn't available when they first got here, so they had to wait on it. I do get that part of it. I wonder if Brew wore 5 in high school or something.
Now, if you were forced to wear like 89 your first 2 years, and then you had the opportunity to switch, then okay, I get that one a little bit better. Like Ramel Keaton, wasn't he 89 first? No, he was 88.
I thought he was always 80.
Oh, that's right. But he switched. Remember, he switched to number 9.
Oh, he did.
He should have kept number 80, whatever 80 number he was. Number 9, Ramel Keaton, was not it.
Yeah, Brew wore number 5 in high school.
I get it. I'm sure 5 is, but he's already established himself as 15.
I know. You're just being selfish. You're thinking about yourself.
I am being selfish. And this does not matter at all at the end of the day. But yeah.
D from the 423 says Brew wearing 5 for how many touchdowns he's going to have against UTC. D, who gives a damn about how many touchdowns Brew has against UTC? Nobody care about that. Real D? I want to know what Brew's going to do versus Florida, versus Georgia, versus Alabama, versus OU. That's what I need Brew to step out. Sometimes you got to step out. Sometimes you got to pop out and show them.
As Lil Baby once said.
No, that's what Kendrick said. I need Brew to bring those touchdown numbers to those games. Everybody going to have touchdowns versus UTC. That's the way it should be. Colin Smyrna says, do we smoke cigars when we beat Bama in college football 2025?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the video game. Y'all pretty jacked up about that, huh? Yeah. Do you have the game? Did you pre-order it?
I did. I played it a little bit last night. The graphics and the detail with the stadium and the players and the crowd, it's phenomenal. First thing I did was a quick little exhibition to get a feel for the game, and I was on defense first. And first third down, it started blasting Mo Bamba. Oh, it was lit. It was lit, Swaino. Blasting Mo Bamba.
Jordan Hare was lit.
Neyland was lit. It was Tennessee versus Arkansas State. I told you I'm Mythamain or a Benjamin now. Not Albin or Vanderbilt. It's Benjamin. So my Memphis Tigers dynasty. Now I was real mad. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but since you brought up the game, first time I was on offense, I had 3rd and 4. Nico drops back to pass. I got Mike Matthews open on a slant over the middle of the field, right through his hands. right through his hands. I was livid. Come
throw.
on, Mike.
Probably bad throw. He probably threw it too hard.
Yeah, so you blaming Nico?
I'm blaming the user.
All I do is press a button.
Yeah, but if you push it down hard, you throw a missile.
I did throw a bullet. He should have caught it.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. It's the user. It ain't Nico. It's the user. Peerless never switched from 37. I can't imagine him and anything else. 37 is a trash number, but he rocked the heck out of it. That is from Brian Hunsucker. Champagne says, I think Ramel was given the number 80, and he didn't have a choice. But as soon as he was able to change his number, he did. Yeah. That's why you got to ask about those numbers, like being recruited. That's what I did. I asked Coach Fulmer about number 1 before I even signed with Tennessee. I think I was committed. I want to say I was committed already. But that's a promise I got from Coach Fulmer before I signed. That's what you got to do. Rodney and Austell asked about LSU transfer not being in a new college football game. Did he not opt in?
Yeah, he did not opt in. Lance Hurd.
Did you still put him in the game, Ben?
No, I didn't get to play much yesterday with all the draft stuff. And
who do you have a left tackle?
Huh?
Who do you have a left tackle?
I didn't fool with the depth chart. I just hit exhibition.
You just wanted to
clicked
play.
Random. Yeah. No, I just wanted to get a feel for how it felt, and I wanted to see what Nealon looked like on the game, and it was awesome. It's not perfect. There's some details here and there, especially with the roster. I didn't really look through it, but I saw somebody say that like Aubrey Solomon was listed. When's the last time you thought of Aubrey Solomon? Or maybe somebody was pulling my leg when they said that, but I didn't have enough time to go through it. And then once I got the kiddos to bed, me and two of my buddies, we do have a 3-man dynasty, and we're starting from the bottom and working our way towards the top. And we each did a random generator for a conference, and I got stuck with Conference USA. And my 3 teams that I had to pick from to start with was Sam Houston, Jacksonville State, or Liberty. And I immediately eliminated Jacksonville State because they're red and they're from the state of Alabama. I initially went with Sam Houston because Liberty is also red, and I just don't like the color red. But then I saw the top 100 players in the game come out, and Liberty's running back was number 190 overall. And then they have Caden Salter, who is 90 overall. So I said, you know what? Let me flip my commitment to Liberty. So I'm starting off as Liberty and working my way up.
You can change their uniforms, be like all white or blue. You don't have to wear red.
No, I don't. That was a saving grace. That was a good part to it. Okay. So I flipped my commitment from Sam Houston to Liberty.
You ain't gonna get nothing done. Your poor kids. Daddy, I'm hungry. Shut up. I'm working on my dynasty.
But see, my wife is the one that's going to get the short end of the stick. I told her jokingly last week that.
Put it in reverse, Ben. Put it in reverse.
Put it in reverse, Terry. I know what I said.
Ben, phrasing.
I know what I said. I told her this game's coming out. It's been 10 years. And she did not understand the significance of it. And I said, the last time this came out, we were dating as seniors in high school. And that put it into a little more perspective for her. I said, I'm sorry, but don't ask me to do nothing next weekend. I will handle my fatherly duties. Don't ask me to watch a movie. Don't ask me to watch a TV show. Don't ask me to go to this place, that place. I will handle my fatherly duties. And other than that, I am playing NCAA before fall camp starts for a weekend. And as a matter of fact, you know what? If you want to hang out, you can come down here and hang out with me, and we can NCAA and chill. You can come play NCAA with me instead of us going and doing something. You can come hang out with me and play NCAA with me. We can start you a road to glory. We can start you a dynasty, and it's good to go. We can spend time together that way.
Poor Savannah.
She rolled her eyes.
Poor Savannah. Dustin Vol 71 says Ben gonna be loving that couch for sure. May need Jennifer Morris.
No, Jennifer would be on Savannah's side, my wife's side. She would not help. Jennifer would not help me in that situation.
Chip Payne says, but don't she always get the short stick, Ben? I told you put it on the tee, man. I told you.
I know what I said.
Calvin Smyrna says, you saying Brew is the certified boogeyman? The one that upped the score with him? Yes.
Yes. That is. By the way, Lil Baby has a line very similar to that.
Yeah.
So that is why I mixed it up. And by the way, so the Aubrey Solomon thing. So Aubrey Solomon is not in the game. Rodney and Austell just pointed this out. They have a left tackle for Tennessee listed as A. Solomon. So I guess a generated name to make up for somebody who did not opt into the game. It came up with A. Solomon. But pretty funny considering Aubrey Solomon was a Tennessee Vol at one point. Which, when was the last time you thought of that name, Aubrey Solomon? Is he eligible yet? NCAA cleared him yet?
Yeah, they cleared him. He hasn't made a play yet, unfortunately.
J.J. Peterson is not on Tennessee's roster on the game. I can confirm that.
Aubrey Solomon had me all hyped up and ready for him to be eligible at Tennessee, former 5-star player. Ain't do nothing. I was so disappointed. So disappointed. But it happens. It happens. Yeah, when Brew get that ball, people try to tackle him. All you'll hear is, whop, 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 whop. Those defenders bouncing off Brew McCoy. Stiff armor folks picking up that first down. That's what we're going to see from
Are they going to hear anything else after whop, 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 dot?
Yeah, probably, but I can't say it. 865-255-03.
Certified Boogeyman is my favorite line in that song, by the way. Very underrated line. Everybody talks about other parts of the song. That one I think is my favorite part.
You be quiet, Ben. You're not allowed to like that song.
Yes, I can, and I bump it all the time. Just like I still bump Drake's music because Drake makes awesome music.
Messing with you. 865-255-03. Tennessee SEC Media Days today. Keenan Peely, Cooper Mays, Mark Thomas. So we will hear from those three volunteers today during the course of the day. I don't think it's just me, but I don't really care about what players from other teams have to say, unless it's about Tennessee. A couple of years ago, I made the decision to go to SEC Media Days. We just went on Tennessee's Day. Seth and I was doing a show together. We found ourselves down there, and I think you produced for us when we was down there.
I think that was right before I started interning.
Yeah, well,
I think that was that summer that I started interning.
Yeah, so we was down there, man. It's really about Tennessee's Day.
Again, speaking from the perspective that the listeners do not care about, but from your perspective, like Radio Row, it is awesome in terms of networking, and they do send players, coaches, guys like Cole Kublik come walking through, and you can snag them and get them on the air. And like I know that Tennessee fans don't really care what Jalen Milroe has to say, but it would be cool to be like, hey, Jalen, can you join us here for 5-10 minutes, and be able to talk to the different stars in the SEC. It's good from that perspective, from a content perspective.
If Tennessee fans are listening to the radio and it's Tennessee's Day and there's a different player that comes by and you want to ask them about Tennessee, I think that makes sense. People want to hear that. But a whole 7-minute interview with an Ole Miss or Georgia player talking about Ole Miss or Georgia, I don't know if Tennessee fans trying to hear all that.
No, but that's where it's our responsibility as Tennessee media members to steer, to be respectful to those opposing players, obviously,
yeah, for sure,
but also steer the conversation and ask questions that would also interest Tennessee fans. And maybe I'm speaking
you're right.
too much in the sense of like that's how I am as a fan, whether it be like the Yankees, the Steelers, the Grizzlies. Like I am one who likes to listen to content involving the teams, the rivals that my favorite teams play because I want to be in the know. I don't only want to hear my favorite team's content. I want to know what the pulse is of other teams that I play, the rivals, my rivals of my favorite teams. Like I want to know what's going on with them, and I want to kind of hear from their players and hear where they're at, their coaches. It can be really informative, and that's just how I am as a sports fan. But I know not everybody is like that. There are Tennessee fans who only want to hear Tennessee, and that's it, and that's perfectly fine as well.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Right now, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical are celebrating 34 years of business. They're doing it this year, and to celebrate, hooking you up with awesome deals right now. Free smart thermostats with select new HVAC systems. Also free water tests, free leak detection and shut-off valves with tankless water heaters. Also, you buy 10, you get 2 free landscaping lights. You can celebrate Hiller's birthday bash right now by going to the website happyhiller.com to see all the details. 34 years in business. That is Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Go to the website happyhiller.com for all of your details. Big thanks to everybody on the Beatty Chevrolet text box. It's good to be back. We will drop a recording for Thursday's program. We have some services to put together and attend this weekend. So we'll be doing that as a family. Again, thank you so much for all the love and support. Chip Payne, I was down in Noonan. What was that? Last weekend? Yeah, last weekend. Hotter than all get out. So it was good to be in the home of Chip Payne there in Noonan, Georgia. But again, just thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all for the prayers, support. I really, really appreciate it. Y'all don't know how much it means to me and my family. So we'll do this again. It's great to be back doing a show with Ben McKee, Talking Tennessee. Man, I'll say this before we wrap up. I lost my great uncle Thursday. I was there every moment leading to the last moment. And man, he loved Tennessee, boy. He loved Tennessee. He rocked that Tennessee hat, had those Tennessee stickers on his vehicle, loved coming to the games. I remember telling a story to y'all about how he wanted to come to the game, and this is well after I was done playing. And we was playing, I think, Ohio. No, he was playing North Texas. And this when Dawes was playing. And we were so putrid that game that my uncle fell asleep during the game. And we left early. But he just wanted to be back in Knoxville. He missed the Vol Walk. He missed being at the Tennessee games. And he loved Tennessee, man. Loved Tennessee. And man, he was 96 years old. He worked on Friday. He was on his deathbed on Saturday. I was with him leading up to his passing on Thursday. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. He believed in me like no one else did. And I'm just lucky that he stepped up to the plate and raised me when maybe other folks maybe didn't want to when I was younger, so, or couldn't. And it's been a sad couple days, but man, it's been a celebration of his life. 96 years, y'all. That's a long time. So I just want to thank y'all. I didn't really say anything on social media. There's an article that newspaper there in Huntsville did on him when he was 95 years old. I'm so proud of it. I may post it. But just thank y'all for all the love. And that's why I've been out, man. So we've had 2 deaths in the family in 2 weeks. My father-in-law and then my grand-uncle who raised us. So my wife's dad and then, like my dad in 2 weeks. So it's been rough. But I appreciate all y'all's love. I appreciate all the support. And, man, we look forward to being back here. Doing it again. It's football time here in Tennessee. And so, man, you can't beat this time of the year. And thank y'all so much for the love and support. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Peace and love. We are out.